Our next speaker is DinoCloud and Franco. A little bit of background. You guys were onboarded early this year, right? Or actually mid-year, right?
Yeah,
in June. And so newer partner, but a partner that actually really had the right executive level sponsorship and integrated it into their business very quickly. And so I'll pass it to you and allow you to share the story.
Okay, welcome everybody to this awesome event about Web Architecture Lessons Learned. Hope you can get some conclusions on what I'm going to talk. Thank you very much, the Web Architecture team, for the opportunity. I'm pretty glad to be here. I'm Franco, I'm CEO of DinoCloud, and today I'm going to talk a little bit about how we integrated the program, the results we have, and the reality that as a specific region and a really special region in the world that is Latin America related to technology, adopted this program to their businesses. So, first of all, I wanted to summarize Latin America in one picture. Perhaps in your mind you say, hey, Latin America, dancing, having some drinks, really fun people. So yes, in fact, it's really true that we're people that we really like to hang out. If you want to make business with me, please invite me a beer and we can talk about that later. But one key point here and why I'm pointing on this is we are people that we really value the personal relationships. Yeah, we really value the trust. We're people that value a lot about, hey, let's have the meeting in person and now do a call. Come here, let's grab, let's have dinner, let's talk about business, meet my company, I want you to meet the guys. We're people that we really value that. And I'm going to come back to this point about how we integrated the program into this reality. Our headquarters are in Córdoba. This is an amazing picture of my city, the city that I was born. It's a really interesting city in Argentina. It's the second biggest city after Buenos Aires, that perhaps is the city that you know. It's amazing because it has a lot of universities, a lot of talents. We merge a lot of talents from the universities, so we try to empower and create the talent from there. And my company, that is called DinoCloud. After that, I'm going to tell you about the name. But that is a picture of us 6 months ago when we became authorized Web Architecture partner. We were around 13 people. Now we're 25. We have our headquarters in Córdoba. We also have offices in Buenos Aires. And nowadays, we're opening a new site in Bogota, trying to conquer the region. So we were born in Argentina. We were born as a cloud consulting company. That is the only service that we provide. We are focused on being the best on cloud consulting, cloud optimizations, cloud adoption, cloud migration, DevOps services. Yeah, that is mainly our focus. We were created by millennials. We didn't have investment. We didn't have contacts. We were just a bunch of guys that they say, hey, I have this knowledge and let's create a company and take advantage of that. So we're a company that moved really faster. We learn all the time. We're trying to be the best because we are not a company that can put 100 people to a client from one day to another. So we try to be the best and have that key differentiation, yeah, the quality of our services. AWS partners in 2017, and as Dean says, authorized Web Architecture partners since June this year. Okay, moving on to the challenges before Web Architecture. Well, we were a company that was started from scratch, as I told you, so we have a lot of challenge of converting leads into opportunities. In Latin America, in general, we have the role of educators and teachers because they value a lot the thing that they are far away from where tech happens, yeah? So they value a lot the partner that comes and tell the story of what is happening in the world and try to integrate into their region. So the fact that they are far away and they needed this partner, it was really hard to us to convert this list into opportunities because we needed first to teach them which is the need, which is the gap, and after teaching the gap, we needed to sell our services. So it was a really huge challenge. That is a challenge that we nowadays all of us has, but we're trying to use the program to work on this. We didn't have standard processes internally. We have some clients that we have a lot of data lakes from one side. We have a fintech company from one side. We have MSP from the side. You say, hey, I don't have a standard process to work on all of these verticals. Let's try to define something. As I told you, our quality is our key differentiation. So keeping that in scale is a really huge challenge for our companies. and as I told you, different roadmap definitions regarding the architect involved in the commercial processes. So, okay, we went to Buenos Aires to the bootcamp. We meet Dean, we meet Maria. It was awesome. Yeah, let's do work architected. So we have some challenges integrating this program into our company. First, the lack of knowledge of people in the company. So we need to empower people to train this because there was a lot of pillars and a lot of papers and a lot of information. Say, oh gosh, how are we going to do this? So the lack of knowledge was the first thing to attack. And we tried to make, okay, let's create a single team with the 2 guys that went to the bootcamp and some other engineers to start making the knowledge transfer to the new ones. And let's start with small projects, okay? So projects that we can control and say, let's see what happens with this. Externally, a lot of things. Client sponsorship to make the review, the renovation after the first remediation process, educate about the cloud first and DevOps approach. The same challenges that we had before, we had it in the Work Architected. But now we have a tool, right? We have a tool to start exploring that. We have a lot of lift and shifted workloads. In Latin America, it's pretty common to say, hey, I'm in the cloud, I'm a cloud-first company, and you enter to the council and you say, no, you have one virtual machine, and that's it, and you are not a cloud-first company, let me know. And innovation. Education comes with innovation, right? But if we don't have education about what's happening around the world and how can we address that, it's pretty hard to get innovation into companies. So after meeting with Dean and whatever, I meet my business development director and say, hey, man, we need to do this. It's a really huge opportunity for us to start solving these challenges. So let's see how can we address in a region that first we need to educate and then we have to sell, okay? He told me, okay, I got it. The first thing that we need to do is we're not going to bill for the review. Let's make it free because we needed to get that meeting of 3-4 hours where we can talk about everything. We're not going to talk only about business, we're architecture, we're going to talk about everything. We're going to gain the relationship of the client. We're going to gain the trust on that very first meeting. Remember that I told you that Latin America value a lot of that. So we travel a lot. We went to Chile, we went to Uruguay. We invest a lot of commercial processes because we thought that the revenue doesn't come with the review. So the review is not a part of our services. The review is part of our commercial process. Okay? The review is part of getting to the client, getting that meeting and say, hey man, look all of the things that you can be doing and you are not doing. Look at your business objectives and say, I have the solution. Let's start making some remediation here, and you will be relaxed that you can meet your business objectives. So after the first review, all the clients were mind blown and say, hey, man, this is awesome. Where were you guys all the time? So after that first review meeting, when we not only talk about work architecture, but we talk about soccer, politics, beer, whatever, we get that relationship and say, okay, let's start working together, yeah? The other things that we thought with my business director was, let's start with a small statement of work, 2 or 3 months. They needed to value us. They need to see the quality of our services. As I told you, that is our key advantage, but I cannot prove until I work with them. So let's start really small. Let's make a first remediation process with really huge risks and start working with them. Also, we added a second add-on document. That is a really interesting thing. We all use only the AWS document from the tool, but we also create one from us with all the risks and tasks that we will be doing if we were the CEOs or the head of development of the company. So we put on the shoes of our client and say, hey man, look, you have all of these risks that the document of AWS told you, but if I were you, I would start from this side. I would start with this in the short term. Okay? I will start from this part. Regarding your priority, you told me that we're going to open operations in another country. Okay, let's go with this. Let's face scalability. Let's face availability. So we try to make that role of being a partner, a technical partner on that. And we created a referral program. And this is pretty interesting for commercial. Yeah? It was a thing that having a couple of beers in WeWork in Buenos Aires with my co-founder, I say, let's tell the client that if they get a review from other clients, they will get some of the credits of MDF that we have. So let's make them our fans club. They can sell work architects from us. So our clients converted in sellers. So it was awesome. So our clients started saying, hey, I have a friend, I have a company that is on AWS, that it will be awesome to make a work architecture review to them. So they get the phone call, we made the review, and they get the MDF credits on demand generation for us. So it was a really awesome selling strategy for us. Okay, summarizing the engagement process. So we have our first contact, phone calls, email, LinkedIn. We have a lot of marketing agencies doing this for us. And we said you have to say that we are authorized partners, that we can represent AWS because we're authorized partners, that we are the first in LATAM, woohoo, yeah, and that we are, and that the review is free. So the first decision that they need to make is no money involved. So, okay, come, yes, I have 3 hours, come here and tell me what you need to tell me. So we made the review, as I told you, it's our time. We are the guys there. We talk about everything, and we have 4 hours to seduce the client professionally to get working with DinoCloud, okay? To get working with us. After that, we come back to offices and start preparing our document, generating all the risk, all the tasks that we will be doing, and the first remediation proposal. 2 or 3 months, no more than that. We need the client to engage the remediation process, okay? Then we make the risk presentation meeting, most of the time in person. Sometimes it's a lot of investment to come back and make a risk presentation in person. We try to do it most of the time. And after that, we have our kickoff meeting. And then we involve managers, project leaders, architect engineers, whatever. So up to the 4th stage, the client didn't invest anything. And they get all the information they need to start working. So we take a risk on that? Perhaps, yeah, of course. But in the work architecture review, they show that, no, man, this is a lot. I cannot address this internally. I need something that at least can tell me how to do it. Not only do it, but how to do it. I need a technical partner on this. We focus a lot of time on medium-sized companies that are growing up, and they want to focus on their product. They have their engineers, they have the architects, but they want to focus on gain money and make a huge and amazing product. So say, okay, I can give you the disaster recovery process. I can give you this, that, and we will also get the first statement of work on that. Yeah, so we get the technical partnerships that we are pursuing with this. On our operational approach, after meeting my business development director, he started selling blah 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 blah. We started creating and talking with my COO about how we're going to address this internally. Oh, this was a really huge challenge too. So he told me, okay, let's create a dedicated team, right? Scrum team with a mix of Scrum and Kanban. And let's see what happens. You and me will going to be in the team, trying to make the knowledge transfer in the very beginning, and we were starting to involve some other engineers. So we started creating a team that received a lot of remediation processes at the same time. So they have to manage priorities. They have to try to get the happiness of the clients, of all the clients at the same time. And that team can scale controllably on all the time, yeah? So if a new member comes to DinoCloud and say, okay, hey, I'm here to learn a lot about cloud, they will join this team, and the team is already working, and it's self-organized, and they have all the technical knowledge that they think. So it's pretty easy for us to onboard new members on the company right now. We create reusable content to get some productivity, and we get domain expertise. So when we have a risk in one client and we need to do it in another one, it's pretty easy for us to make the match and try to get it solved. And each time is quicker, yeah, it's more quick. So we get some productivity on the same team, and we don't have to scale linearly with the clients. We get a team that is high productively making remediations. So we have our work is the clients, all of them happy, obviously, because they're working with us. Each of them have their status board. Of course, we will have a consolidated board on our remediation team, and our remediation team is responsible for managing, as I told you, all the tasks, the status that is blocked or not, and all the boards are synchronized, and our clients are seeing their status all the time. Well, Cytex is one of our success cases. It's a really interesting success case. They were a startup created by 2 or 3 telecommunications engineers, and they are a software as a service project management tool focused on telecommunications companies, carriers, whatever. When we met them, I'm going to put the quote because it's really large and you can read it in the same time that I talk. In the time when we met them, they told us, yes, we were using AWS, But really, we just recently signed a contract with the biggest carrier in Argentina, and we don't know what will happen with that. I don't know what will happen. I don't know if we're going to explode. I want to make my business grow, and I cannot lose this opportunity because it's the moment that the company needs Cytex. Say, okay, great. Well, let me do you a work architecture review and see what can we do in 3 months. So we made the work architecture review. We found, well, you know, an EC2 instance full of Docker containers inside, and you say, oh man, no, this is going to explode sometime. In only 3 months, we went to an architecture that was able to scale. It has continuous improvement, continuous delivery, it has infrastructure as a code, or all the things that we are now in only 3 months. And in 3 months, they get the client, and now they're a company that is rocking in Latin America regarding telecommunications software. And we get this, this quote. And when I read it, I say, man, I didn't know that we were so valuable. So this is the technical leader, Juan Alvarez, that I met at that moment. I told you, hey, I need you to just rate this partner, go to this link. I need it for my partner level in AWS. I say, okay, I will do it. And he wrote this, and I say, oh man, wow, this is awesome, man. So it was really, I was really happy when I read this quote. I say, man, we really changed, we really saved this company. I mean, because I don't know if they will be able to face that challenge in that time frame, and if they will be able to get that client working well. So that was amazing, really. Some of the impact, 3 basic metrics about us. On active projects, we really increased with these free reviews and in-person reviews and referral program and all of these commercial tools that we created to sell Well Architected. We really increased the count of projects on our service. What you see in red is are the projects of Well Architected and how it changed the company. Regarding revenue, you can see the tendency, how it took off after having the program involved on our company. And we have free reviews, so it's really interesting to say, hey, our selling moment was on the Well Architected review. That was mainly the conclusion here. On staff people, I'm here in 2016, only sending emails in a co-working, and now we created. We really took off after having this program, so we're really happy how it went on this year, and the program was a really interesting tool for us on that. On qualitative impact, nowadays, as I told you, we didn't have the standard processes. We didn't have a control on how to scale. And nowadays, what this program gave us is, first of all, quality control. Now we have a baseline of quality to work on. When some people get into DinoCloud, they have to do, obviously, the accreditations, business, technical, TCO, and also have to make a training of Well Architected, because they will be working in a company that is a Well Architected company. So we were using this as a baseline of our services. Now we have a team that made us easy to scale, because people onboard the team is working, and they have self-organized methodology, and they have really great technical knowledge, so they share a lot about how they develop the solutions for our clients. And the last point is really interesting. After having the Well Architected program, we applied for the DevOps competency program. We said, hey, we need 4 use cases, okay? And 3 of the 4 use cases were part of the remediation team. And we didn't have to change anything about what we did to apply for the checklist of DevOps competency. It was really interesting because, yes, we did this, yes, we did this, yes, okay, sort of, but yes. And the Well Architected serve us as a foundation for other competencies and programs. And after DevOps, we're going to take financial services. And I read the checklist, and this is Well Architected. Yeah, so reliability, you have security. So this program gives you all the use cases you need to apply for all the other programs. So it's a really interesting foundation for that. And the only use cases that wasn't so good was the one that wasn't outside this program. So to get the conclusion and saying, hey, what I need you guys to take from this as a lesson, obviously each region is a world. I'm not telling you, hey, you have to give the reviews as a gift. I'm telling you that in Latin America, we had that gap of education in general. So this served us as an education tool. This served us as a trusting tool. Hey, man, I'm traveling for you. I'm here. I'm investing in you because I want you to get into this, really. And the return of investment is immediately. Yeah, our revenue comes with the remediation processes. All of our clients, after having their first SOW of 3 months, they get the renovation, all of them. We have 100% of conversion rate from the first remediation to the second contract, that then you have 6 months, 1 year, and whatever the client takes. Developing personal reviews changed the game on our region again. I hope you can take that and say, okay, may apply on us too. The fact of educate, as I told you. And the last thing I want to tell you is the program is a really amazing tool. I think it really changed our company, and it solved a lot of the challenges that we had. But the fact that getting the reality of the region and say, okay, this is how we are going to adapt it to our reality is what makes the difference, okay? I'm not going to tell you that this will apply in all the regions that you guys are, but I'm going to tell you that we need to think about how the program matches, and we try to think a little bit commercially, operationally, technically, how this will apply. Thank you very much. I will be all the week in Raymond, so.
Thank you, Franco.
Let's meet together.
So I love the story. So when we're in Argentina, after the boot camp, we sit down, and we talk about what the different qualifications are of the program. Franco had a goal, was he was going to actually become an authorized partner within 30 days. And you guys did that, right? I mean, you guys, and the other thing that I think is really unique here is they didn't look at it just from the standpoint of, let's just train 2 people and let's just do the minimum requirement. They actually sought out to look at, how do we train and enable our entire company? Right, so yes, one of the requirements is that for a customer-led, well-architected review, you should have an SA Pro Cert that goes and gets training. That didn't matter to them. They wanted to make sure that everyone in their company was trained on well-architected. And so when we look at the trends and we look at the partners that today are in the program, the partners that have been most successful are those that actually have integrated this into their QA process, into their pre-sales process, post-sales process, right? So as you begin to kind of think about that story, it's a great example of how a partner took this and the impact that it's having on their business.